Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm sure you all must be doing super great and you would have understood what I have told you आज तक के तमाम lectures में. Today it's the lecture number 8 and we are going to study about active voice and passive voice. So our first slide is about active voice. What is the active voice? In active voice sentences, the subject performs the action or the subject is the main actor. Active voice has a verb with a direct object and the pattern is subject verb object. So आपको क्या समझ में आया? Active voice क्या होती है? Active voice होती है that describes a sentence where the subject performs the action stated by the verb. It follows a clear subject plus verb plus object construct that's easy to read. In fact, sentences constructed in the active voice add impact to your writing. Active voice is pretty easy to understand. इसमें क्या है? इसमें ये है कि जो action perform किया जा रहा है वो subject, the doer of the action comes first in the sentence in the active voice sentences, and then comes the verb, the action word, and then the object. And object is always a direct object in case of the active voice sentences. Read these sentences and notice who is the actor in each of the sentence. The first sentence is the dog bit the boy. The dog bit the boy. Aisha. The second sentence is Aisha will give a presentation on her research project at the seminar. And the last sentence is scientists have carried out experiments. Now we all can see easily and we can figure out that who are the actors in each of these sentences. In first sentence, the actor, the doer of the action, the subject is the dog, and the direct object in this sentence is the boy, who is like the dog bit the boy, and bit we all know is the verb in this sentence. Then comes Aisha will give a presentation on her research project at the seminar. So who's going to give the presentation? Who would be doing the action? Aisha would be doing. So again, who is the actor in this sentence? Would be the actor in this case? Aisha. Then comes scientists have carried out experiments. So the object is again very much clear, the verb also, and the subject again is the scientist that is coming first in the sentence. There are so many other examples that I can give you, and they're like Harry ate 6 shrimps at dinner, beautiful giraffes roam around the garden, zoo, whatever, savanna. Sue changed the flat tire. We are going to watch a movie tonight. I ran the obstacle course in record time. Mom reads the novel in one day. I will clean the house every Saturday. Tom painted the entire house. The choir really enjoys that piece. The 2 kings are signing the treaty. Suzanne will bake 2 dozen cupcakes for the bake sale. The homeowners remodeled the house to help it sell. So all these sentences are in active voice. Let's move on to the next slide that will give you the definition of the passive voice sentences. The subject or the actor becomes a secondary and the emphasis is on the action. Therefore, the focus of the sentence is on the object rather than the subject. पैसिव वॉइस सेंटेंसेस में क्या होता है कि जो फोकस जिस चीज़ पे किया जा रहा होता है वो ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस होता है, देन दी सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस. सब्जेक्ट इज द सेकेंडरी थिंग इन दी सेंटेंसेस. अ पैसिव वॉइस verb consists of a form of the verb be plus a past participle. Often, passive voice sentences will contain a by phrase indicating who or what performed the action. आपको समझ में आ गया होगा कि जब पैसिव वॉइस सेंटेंसेस की बात की जा रही होती है तो जो सब्जेक्ट होता है, द सब्जेक्ट इज एक्टेड अपॉन बाय द वर्ब. It makes for a murky roundabout sentence. You can be more straightforward with active voice. As such, there are many ways to change the passive voice to the active voice in your sentences. आपको समझ में आ गया कि पैसिव वॉइस में क्या होता है. पैसिव वॉइस में ये होता है, सब्जेक्ट जो होता है it becomes secondary when we talk of the passive voice. जब हम पैसिव वॉइस की बात कर रहे होते हैं तो जो सब्जेक्ट होता है वो सेकेंडरी हो जाता है और ऑब्जेक्ट जो होता है वो प्राइमरी होता है, मतलब उसकी इंपॉर्टेंस होती है मोर देन दी सब्जेक्ट इन दी सेंटेंसेस. पैसिव वॉइस में जो इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ वर्ब, फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब जिसकी फॉर्म बी इस्तेमाल हो रही होती है प्लस अ पास्ट पार्टिसिपल. Often, passive voice sentences will contain a by phrase indicating who or what performed the action. इसकी examples are the boy was bitten by the dog, right? हमने क्या पढ़ा था? The dog bit the boy. The boy was. The boy will come first in the passive voice sentence, then come the verb, and then the subject. Research presentation will be given by Aisha at the seminar. Aisha will give the presentation, or what was the sentence? I don't remember exactly. The sentence was like Aisha will give a presentation on her research project at the seminar. And when we'll change it into passive voice, it would be like research presentation will be given by Aisha at the seminar. And then the third sentence was scientists have carried out experiments, and when we'll change the sentence into the passive voice, we'll bring experiments in the beginning and then the verb and then the object. Experiments have been carried out by the scientists. And then there are many other examples that I can give you when I talk of the passive voice sentences. For example, the example that I gave you in the active voice was Harry ate 6 shrimps at dinner. And when we'll change it into passive voice, it would be at dinner 6 shrimps were eaten by Harry. Then I gave you one example, beautiful giraffes roam the savannah. The savannah is roamed by beautiful giraffes. And again, Sue changed the flat tire. The flat tire was changed by Sue. We are going to watch a movie tonight. A movie is going to be watched by us tonight. And now I'm sure you would have understood that how we are supposed to change the active sentences into passive voice sentences. For example, another example that I gave you was Mom read the novel in one day. And then when we'll change it into passive voice, it would be like the novel was read by Mom in one day. I'll clean the house every Saturday. The house will be cleaned by me every Saturday. So that's how we'll go about these active and passive voice sentences. Read the same sentences and notice how the focus changes from the actor to the action. First, we'll read the active voice sentence. In the first sentence, the leaders are seeking a fair resolution of the crisis to the crisis. And the second sentence is when we'll change into passive voice, the active sentence into passive voice sentence, it would be like, what was the sentence? The leaders are seeking a fair resolution to the crisis. And when we'll change into passive voice, it would be a fair resolution to the crisis is being sought by the leaders. The second sentence is, most of the class is reading the book. The book is being read by most of the class. The book is being read by most of the class. The last sentence is, action on the bill is being considered by the committee. Action on the bill is being considered by the committee. And then when we'll change it into passive voice, it would be the committee is considering action on the bill. The committee is considering action on the bill. And now you would have understood that how smartly we put the object first in the sentence, then comes the verb and the subject. While active voice helps to create clear and direct sentences, sometimes writers find that using an indirect expression is effective in some situations, so they choose passive voice. What's written here? While active voice helps to create clear and direct sentences. Okay? Very easy, simple. Sometimes writers find that using an indirect expression is effective in some situations. कुछ सिचुएशन में ऐसा होता है कि अगर हम indirect expression use कर रहे हो तो वो effective होता है ज़्यादा. So they choose passive voice. तो फिर in that case they'll choose the passive voice sentences. The passive voice is effective in those circumstances when the writer wants to highlight the action rather than the one who is performing the action, who is doing the action, who is the doer of the action. जब writer जो है वो action के बारे में बात करना चाह रहा हो बजाय इसके कि उसके लिए the doer of the action एक मामूली या secondary चीज़ हो तो वो कौन सी voice use करता है? वो passive voice use करता है. So there are sometimes good reasons to use the passive voice. If we say that active voice sentences are more easy to understand, it's very much right. But there are certain situations जहाँ पे हमें passive voice के sentences को use करना पड़ता है to make others clear, you know, अपनी बात को ज़्यादा अच्छे तरीके से समझाने के लिए, जहाँ action की बात करना चाह रहे हो हम rather than the doer of the action. Active voice is best suitable in informal, personal and non-scientific writing situations. कब यूज़ अच्छी होती है active voice? कब best suitable होती है? Informal situations में, जब आपने कोई personal situation हो या फिर कोई non-scientific writing situations हो तो हम active voice use करते हैं. Sentences in active voice are generally clearer, shorter and more direct than those in passive voice. जो एक्टिव वॉइस के सेंटेंसेस होते हैं वो क्लियर होते हैं, ज़्यादा छोटे होते हैं, ज़्यादा इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड होते हैं, ज़्यादा डायरेक्ट होते हैं देन दो सेंटेंसेस दोज आर इन दी पैसिव वॉइस. Yes, because fewer words are required to express action in active voice than in passive voice. क्योंकि जब हमने जो एक्टिव वॉइस सेंटेंसेस होते हैं उनमें जो हमारा फोकस होता है sentences in active voice are also more concise than those in passive voice because fewer words are required to express. But we don't really need to elaborate or extend or exaggerate anything. We just have to be straight, simple and clear. So in active voice you don't really need a lot of vocabulary, a lot of words, a bunch of words to say whatever you have to say. Now let's switch to the passive voice. The passive voice robs your work of energy and aliveness and blurs your reader's sense of who is doing what. Avoid it. पैसिव वॉइस में ये होता है कि जाहिर है जब आप एक्शन की बात कर रहे होगे तो फिर डूअर ऑफ द एक्शन कहीं पीछे चला जाएगा, राइट? सो इस चीज़ को लाइक वी रियली डू अवॉइड. राइटिंग इन द एक्टिव वॉइस रादर देन द पैसिव वॉइस गिव्स योर राइटिंग मोर लाइफ एंड मोर क्लैरिटी. जाहिर है जब मुझसे कोई बात कर रहा है और वो मुझे बता रहा है कि जिस चीज़ के बारे में बात की जा रही है वो बात करने वाला कौन है, राइट? या वो किसने किया है, तो मुझे ज़्यादा समझ में आएगा. अगर कोई मुझे ये कहेगा केक बना है, केक बहुत अच्छा बनाया था, तो ठीक है बनाया था, लाइक केक अच्छा बनाया था, पर किसने बनाया था? आई वुड बी मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन नोइंग दैट. सो अगर कोई मुझे ये कहेगा सारा ने केक अच्छा बनाया था तो मुझे अच्छा लगेगा, लाइक आई वुड अंडरस्टैंड कि केक अच्छा तो बनाया था पर किसने बनाया था वो भी मुझे समझ में आ जाएगा, राइट? सो sentences in the active voice are easy to understand, they're more nice, they're more good to listen to, they're more good to read to. So we should if you're writing, try to write in active voice sentences. They give life and clarity to your writings. Try and use the active voice in most situations and you will notice that your writing will stand out appear more energetic than if you had used passive voice, right? वैसे भी we अगर हमसे कोई चीज़ डायरेक्टली हमसे कोई किसी चीज़ के बारे में बात की जा रही हो तो वो हमें ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, इंस्टेड के हमें इनडायरेक्ट या गोल मोल करके द अदर वे अराउंड हमसे बात की जाए. Good writers prefer active voice because they want information to flow in a clear and direct manner of the readers. See, that's what I was telling you. कि अगर हमसे डायरेक्ट बात की जाए किसी चीज़ के बारे में तो हम लोगों को ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है, ना कि गोल मोल करके घुमा फिरा कर हमसे कोई बात की जाए. तो जो अच्छे राइटर्स होते हैं वो प्रेफर करते हैं कि उनकी राइटिंग जो है वो एक्टिव वॉइस में हो, क्यों, ताकि वो इंफॉर्मेशन जो है वो जो एक क्लियर फ्लो ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन हो राइटर से रीडर की तरफ. Readers prefer reading materials written in active voice rather than in passive voice. और फिर रीडर्स को भी अच्छा लगता है वो चीज़ पढ़कर जो एक्टिव वॉइस में लिखी गई हो rather than के वो पैसिव वॉइस में लिखी हुई हो. Sometimes the overuse of passive voice can make your essay or prose seem flat and uninteresting. अगर आप अपनी किसी भी राइटिंग में अगर आप पैसिव वॉइस यूज़ कर रहे हो तो वो आपकी राइटिंग को फ्लैट बना देगा. आपका रीडर जो है वो बिल्कुल भी आपकी राइटिंग में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होगा. इसलिए कोशिश करें कि हमेशा वही वाली बात, यूज़ दी एक्टिव वॉइस. However, in scientific writing, passive voice is more readily accepted, and that's so right. अगर आप सिर्फ साइंटिफिक राइटिंग की बात करें उसमें अगर आप पैसिव वॉइस में बात करेंगे तो वो ज़्यादा समझ में आएंगी. Thus, at times, using a passive voice helps create an objective, fact-based discourse. Even in scientific writing, overuse of passive voice means long and complicated sentences that can cause readers to lose interest and become confused. Right? Even in scientific जो आपकी राइटिंग होती है उसमें भी अगर आप ओवर यूज़ कर रहे हो पैसिव वॉइस को तो आपका जो फिर उससे क्या होगा, आपके लॉन्ग सेंटेंसेस होंगे और आपका रीडर जो है वो इतना इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होगा उस फैक्ट या उस साइंटिफिक राइटिंग को पढ़ने के लिए और वो कंफ्यूज हो जाएगा. Now, in this exercise, following all the rules that I've told you, read all the rules and explanation that we have given you above carefully and then change the sentences given in below to passive voice. All 7 sentences are given here. You have to change them in the passive voice and I'll give you on your own and I'll give your answer to these sentences in the class when you'll go to the action number 8 and we'll be sitting in the class. I'll give you the answers to these sentences because I really want you to solve them after all the elaboration, all the lecture that I've given you on the active and passive voice. Then again, there are these sentences in the passive voice and you have to change them into the active voice sentences. ठीक है, ये आपका homework है. What you have to do, you have to change the passive voice, active voice sentences into the passive voice and the passive voice sentences into the active voice, and we'll talk about them in the class. Then read the list of the verbs given in the box. Then read sentences that follow. Fill in each blank with the correct past participle of the verb. When you would be doing that, you will notice that you are actually making these verbs passive voice verbs. Romeo and Juliet dash Shakespeare's, and then there are a set of words given to you. You have to choose the correct one from the sentence and words given above, and you have to fill in all these blanks and you have to give me their answers in the class. Exercise 13, here is another interesting exercise. We are giving you 4 topics. Write 1 active sentence and 1 passive sentence. We have done the first topic for you as an example. Continue with the remaining 3 topics in a similar way. Topics: Titanic, the sunken ship, Troy, the destroyed city, banana production, uses of leather. So first is Titanic, the sunken ships. How was the Titanic sunk? एक्टिव सेंटेंस क्या होगा? आइसबर्ग डिस्ट्रॉयड द टाइटैनिक. इसका पैसिव वॉइस क्या होगा? टाइटैनिक वॉज destroyed by an iceberg. And then again there are 3 sets given to you and you have to complete them. And again we'll talk about them in the class. Okay, what comes next in today's lecture? Reading functions in the text. Every text that we read has a main aim, purpose, or a particular function or use. Writers use special kind of words and writing styles to convey their message, and once we as readers recognize these signals or words writers use, we are able to understand the text better. Okay, हर राइटिंग का एक एम होता है, राइट. हर चीज़ जो है, जो लिखी गई भी होती है, वो किसी चीज़ के बारे में लिखी गई होती है, किसी टॉपिक के बारे में लिखी होती है, किसी एक स्पेसिफिक चीज़ के बारे में बात की जा रही होती है. तो उसके लिए राइटर जब उसको लिख रहा होता है तो वो स्पेशल वर्ड्स का इंतखाब करता है ताकि पढ़ने वाले को समझ में आ जाए कि किस चीज़ के बारे में बात की जा रही होती है. और वो वर्ड्स काइंड ऑफ सिग्नल्स होते हैं फॉर द रीडर फ्रॉम द राइटर. Different texts serve different purposes. For example, an advertisement serves the purpose of introducing a product and selling it, right? ऐसे ही होता है ना. किसी ऐड का क्या पर्पस होता है? यही पर्पस होता है ना कि किसी नई प्रोडक्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस किया जाए या फिर उसको बेचा जाए. जाहिर है जब मैं कोई ऐड देखूंगी और वो मुझे इंटरेस्टिंग लगेगी और मैं फिर सोचूंगी उस चीज़ को लेने के बारे में. So active voice is basically active voice, what I'm saying is the purpose of these texts, the purpose of what we have read. Every text that we read has a main aim, purpose or particular function or use. तो ad का क्या purpose है? ad का purpose ये है किसी चीज़ को, किसी product को introduce कराना और उसको बेचना. A travel brochure gives information about travel destinations and wants to attract people to visit these sites. अच्छा, एक ब्रोशर है, उसको अट्रैक्टिव बनाया जाता है, उस पर ऊपर इंफॉर्मेशन दी जाती है उन जगहों के बारे में जिस जगह पे कोई टूर जा रहा है या कोई, फॉर एग्जांपल अगर कोई टूर है, जैसे बहुत सारे डिफरेंट एजेंसीज अब टूर्स अरेंज करती हैं टू डिफरेंट प्लेसेस, उसके बारे में दे पुट आउट दी ब्रोशर्स ऑल्सो. और फिर जब आप वो ब्रोशर देखते हो और उसके बारे में आप उस टूर के बारे में आप सारी डिटेल्स पढ़ते हो, ट्रैवल डेस्टिनेशंस के बारे में और कहाँ कहाँ ठहराया जाएगा, क्या क्या फैसिलिटीज़ आपको दी जाएंगी थ्रू आउट द टूर, स्टफ एंड दैट. तो उससे आप अट्रैक्ट होते हो और फिर आप यू प्लान टू विजिट दोज साइट्स, राइट. फिर अ डिक्शनरी too has its own use and helps readers know about words, meanings, pronunciation and grammatical use of words. And that's so right. डिक्शनरी क्या है? डिक्शनरी भी एक पीस ऑफ राइटिंग है ना, एक बहुत बड़ी किताब जिसके अंदर बहुत सारी चीज़ें लिखी हुई हैं, बहुत सारे वर्ड्स के मीनिंग्स लिखे हुए हैं. तो उसका क्या पर्पज़ है? उसका यही पर्पज़ है ना कि अगर आपको किसी चीज़ का मीनिंग नहीं आ रहा, you open the dictionary and find out and you'll get the meaning there and then. So yes, डिक्शनरी का पर्पज़ क्या है? डिक्शनरी का पर्पज़ है आपको वर्ड्स के मीनिंग्स बताना, आपको उनकी प्रोनाउंसिएशन बताना, आपको उनका ग्रामेटिकल यूज़ बताना. Then comes a newspaper. A newspaper has different sections and each section has a different purpose. न्यूज़पेपर के अंदर बहुत सारे सेक्शंस होते हैं और हर सेक्शन का एक डिफरेंट पर्पस होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, रीडर्स रीड द मेन स्टोरीज टू नो व्हाट्स हैपनिंग एट नेशनल और इंटरनेशनल लेवल. जो मेन स्टोरीज आपके अखबार के अंदर लगी होती हैं उनसे आपको क्या पता चल रहा होता है? उनसे आपको ये पता चलता है कि आपके इंटरनेशनल लेवल में पूरी दुनिया में क्या हो रहा है और नेशनल लेवल आपके मुल्क के अंदर क्या हो रहा है. Some people are just interested to read sports pages and some business pages, whereas the teenagers might like to read the horoscopes or do the word puzzles. And that's actually like that. अब अगर एक घर में न्यूज़पेपर जा रहा है तो हर कोई won't be reading the national news, हर कोई won't be reading the international news, हर कोई won't be reading the sports news, हर कोई won't be reading the business news, हर कोई won't be reading the horoscopes and the word puzzles. So yes, every person has a different choice for which he or she uses or reads the newspaper. In this section, we'll try and understand one particular function that we find in texts, and this function is instruction. Exercise 14. Whenever you read something, try to understand the text's main purpose or function. जब भी आप कोई चीज़ पढ़ो तो अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करो कि उस टेक्स्ट में आपसे क्या कहा जा रहा है, उस टेक्स्ट का पर्पस क्या है, उस टेक्स्ट का फंक्शन क्या है. Here are 3 different kinds of reading texts. Read each and then tick the right answers. To get to the library at college, first go in through the front door. Ahead of you is the reception desk. Turn left and go into the lobby. Turn right. The library is the first entrance on your left. Don't forget your student card. What is the main purpose of this piece of writing? To inform students of what is in the library, to explain how to get to the library, to explain why it is important to take your card to the library, to persuade us to visit the library. So I think it's to explain how to get to the library. What sort of a text is this? A note, a memo, an email, or an instruction or instructions? For me, it's instructions. Who is going to read this? A student, the librarian, a visitor, anyone. Anyone. For me, it's anyone whosoever is going to the library. Then there is instructive texts. Let us talk about instructive texts. Where can you find instructive texts? Normally, we read instructions in recipes or do-it-yourself manuals. They are usually written using the imperative. The imperative is formed by using the verb without to or any noun or pronoun in front of it. For example, you need to turn left. Turn left, imperative. इंस्ट्रक्टिव सेंटेंसेस क्या होते हैं? दे यूजुअली यूज जहाँ पे आपको किसी को कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन देनी हो तो आप वहाँ पे क्या यूज़ कर रहे होते हो? वहाँ पे आप इंस्ट्रक्टिव सेंटेंसेस यूज़ कर रहे होते हो. और इसमें क्या यूज़ हो रहा होता है? They usually written in using the imperative. The imperative is formed by using the verb without to or any noun or pronoun in front of it. For example, turn left. बस एक instruction, nothing else. No to, nothing noun, no verb, nothing. Just the instruction, turn left. Here are some examples of instructions that have the imperative. Sentence: you should not smoke here. Don't smoke here. It would be imperative. You must fix this with glue. Fix this with glue. This would be imperative. You must not run. Don't run. You will need 300 grams of flour. Take 300 grams of flour. No noun, no pronoun. Okay? So in imperative sentences, we don't use any noun, any pronoun. We'll just give the instruction. Or you can say in instructive sentences, you use the imperative. An instructive text is a text in which you read explanation about how to do something. Instructive sentences में क्या होता है? आपको ये पता चलता है कि आपने कोई चीज़ किस तरह से करनी है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, उसमें आपको इंस्ट्रक्शन दी गई होती है, आपको एक्सप्लेन किया गया होता है उस किसी भी चीज़ के करने के बारे में. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इंस्ट्रक्शंस अबाउट हाउ टू गेट अ पासपोर्ट, how to choose the right car, or how to conduct an experiment are all instructive texts. When you're reading or writing an instructions piece, it is necessary to keep the following points in mind. Use chronological order. Many instructive essays must be written in chronological order. If you are explaining how to change a flat tire, then all the necessary steps must be written in chronological order, or the reader will not do well in fixing the flat tire. अगर आपने कोई चीज़ किसी चीज़ के बारे में आपने किसी को कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन देनी है, फॉर एग्जांपल आपने टायर को चेंज करने के बारे में, फ्लैट टायर को चेंज करने के बारे में किसी को कोई इंस्ट्रक्शन देनी है, तो वो सब स्टेप वाइज होनी चाहिए। अगर आपकी वो इंस्ट्रक्शंस जो है वो स्टेप वाइज नहीं होगी, क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर में नहीं होगी, तो द पर्सन हु वुड बी चेंजिंग द टायर वोंट बी एबल टू डू गुड, ही वोंट बी एबल टू चेंज इट, बिकॉज उसको क्लियर इंस्ट्रक्शंस ही नहीं देगी। You will learn about chronological writing in one of the units that will follow. Stick to the point. When explaining how to change a tire on a car, for example, don't discuss where to buy cheap tires or how long new ones should last. Such details may interest the reader, but they won't help in changing the tire. जब आप टायर को चेंज करने की बात कर रहे हो तो यू डोंट हैव टू गो हियर एंड देयर। आपको इस चीज़ के बारे में बात नहीं करनी कि आपने टायर कहाँ से लोगे, आपको अच्छे टायर कहाँ से मिलेंगे जो जल्दी जल्दी फ्लैट नहीं होंगे। आपको इस चीज़ के बारे में बात नहीं करनी, आपको सिर्फ इस चीज़ के बारे में बात करनी है कि टायर को कैसे चेंज करना है, एंड दैट इज इट। यू हैव टू स्टिक टू द पॉइंट in such sentences. Recipes are kind of instructive texts. Here is a recipe, read it and notice how instructions are given in imperative and then a paragraph written in a normal style. आप देखें कि instructions कैसे इस recipe में दी गई in the imperative and then in the normal way they have written the paragraph. Then a paragraph written in a normal writing style. Chicken tikka. You're going to make a chicken tikka. Ingredients: 1 kg chicken breast pieces and drumsticks, 2 tablespoons fresh lime juice, 1 teaspoon ginger chopped, 1 clove garlic crushed, 1 teaspoon chili powder, 1 teaspoon red Kashmiri chili powder, 1 teaspoon black pepper powder, 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, 1.5 teaspoon salt. And then again the method: put all the ingredients in a bowl, mix well, make small cuts in the chicken pieces, add chicken to the marinade, mix well so that the chicken gets properly coated with it, cover and leave in a cool place or refrigerator for 6 hours. Thread the chicken pieces onto skewers and cook over heated charcoal for 10 to 15 minutes. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing the word because sometimes you get stuck to in some situations in some words. So yes, then the instructions are given in a simple way. Now read the recipe written in a paragraph form. First of all, put all the ingredients in a bowl and mix well. The next thing you do is to make small cuts in the chicken pieces, and once you have done that, add chicken to the marinade, mix well so that the chicken gets properly coated with it. When you finish doing that, cover and leave the chicken in a cool place or refrigerator for 6 hours. Finally, thread the chicken pieces onto the skewers and cook over heated charcoal for 10 to 15 minutes. So that is how you clear the meaning of whatever you want to do. What is the recipe about? How the person is going to do it, and how it would be easy to do it. So if your instructions are clear, it would be easier for the reader to follow them and to do the way you want to do them. So yes, today we have read about the active and the passive voice. Active voice are the sentences in the active voice are in which the subject performs the action or the subject is the main actor. Active sentences में क्या होता है, आपका subject जो है वो जो perform कर रहा होता है action, वो आपका main actor होता है. Active voice has a verb with the direct object. The pattern is subject, verb and object. Then you read the examples. Then came the passive voice. उसमें आपको उन्होंने ये बताया कि the subject or the actor becomes secondary and the emphasis on the action. Therefore, the focus of the sentence is on the object rather than the subject. Passive voice sentences में क्या होता है, जो focus होता है वो object के ऊपर होता है rather than the subject. A passive voice verb consists of a form of the verb be plus a past participle. Often, passive voice sentences will contain a by phrase indicating who or what performed the action. Then again the examples. Then they give you different examples. The leaders are seeking a fair resolution to the crisis. It was in active voice. They change it into passive voice. A fair resolution to the crisis being sought by the leaders. The second example is most of the class is reading the book. The book is being read by most of the class. Action on the bill is being considered by the committee. The committee is considering action on the bill. So these were also few of the examples. Then they told you again that while active voice helps to create clear and direct sentences, sometimes writers find that using an indirect expression is effective in some situations, so they choose passive voice. The passive voice, जबकि एक्टिव वॉइस जो है वो आपके लिए मोर इजी टू, जिसके अंदर आपके लिए हर चीज़ वेरी मच क्लियर होती है, फिर भी some situations में we use the passive voice. The passive voice is effective in those circumstances when the writer wants to highlight the action. जब राइटर जो है वो एक्शन के बारे में बात करना चाह रहा हो rather than the one who is performing the action. तो वो कौन यूज़ कर रहा होता है? वो passive voice को यूज़ कर रहा होता है. Active voice is best suitable in informal, personal and non-scientific writing situations, whereas the passive voice robs your work of energy and aliveness and blurs your reader's sense of who is doing what. So you should avoid writing your writings in passive voice. Good writers prefer active voice because they want information to flow in a clear and direct manner for the readers. Whereas the passive voice, when we talk of the passive voice, it is used in the scientific writing where it is more readily accepted. Thus, at times, using passive voice helps create an objective, fact-based discourse. Even in scientific writing, overuse of passive voice means long and complicated sentences that can cause readers to lose interest or become confused. Then there were three exercises were given to you, which I told you that I would be discussing when I'll come in the class, and you have to solve them on their own to see if you have understood the core topic or not. Then we read about the functions in the text. Every text that we read that has a main aim, purpose or a particular function or use, writers use special kind of words and writing styles to convey their message. And once we as readers recognize these signals or words writers use, we are able to understand the text better. Different texts serve different purposes. हर टेक्स्ट का अपना पर्पस होता है, डिफरेंट पर्पस होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर कोई एडवर्ट ऐड है तो उसका अपना पर्पस है, अगर कोई ट्रैवल ब्रोशर है तो उसका अपना पर्पस है, अगर कोई डिक्शनरी है तो उसका अपना पर्पस है, अगर कोई न्यूज़पेपर है तो उसके अंदर डिफरेंट सेक्शंस होते हैं, हर सेक्शन का डिफरेंट पर्पस होता है और हर सेक्शन के रीडर्स भी डिफरेंट होते हैं. फिर अगेन आपको एक टेक्स्ट दिया गया जिसके बारे में फिर आपसे 3 सवाल किए गए और पूछा गया कि आपको क्या लगता है कि टेक्स्ट किस चीज़ के बारे में था. देन वी टॉक्ड अबाउट इंस्ट्रक्टिव टेक्स्ट. और इंस्ट्रक्टिव टेक्स्ट वो होते हैं जिसमें आपको किसी चीज़ के बारे में इंस्ट्रक्शन दी जा रही हो और उसमें इम्पेरेटिव वे ऑफ राइटिंग होता है, जिसमें सिर्फ जो है वो आपको इंस्ट्रक्शन दी जाती है विदाउट इवन यूजिंग द नाउन्स एंड द प्रोनाउंस. एंड देन वी चेंज फ्यू सेंटेंसेस इनटू द इम्पेरेटिव, जिनमें से कुछ ये थे, यू शुड नॉट स्मोक हियर, एंड व्हेन वी चेंज देम इनटू इम्पेरेटिव इट वुड बी लाइक डोंट स्मोक हियर, यू मस्ट फिक्स दिस विद ग्लू, फिक्स दिस विद glue, you must not run, don't run, you will need 300 grams of flour, take 300 grams of flour. And then we told you that an instructive text is a text in which you read explanation about how to do something. For example, instructions about how to get a passport, how to choose the right car, or how to conduct an experiment, are all instructive texts. When you're reading or writing an instructions piece, it is necessary to keep the following points in mind. Chronological order होना चाहिए आपको. You have to stick to the point. If there are recipes, again they are in the imperative form और फिर उसको paragraph में एक easy simple way में लिखा जाता है. And that's all about today's presentation. I am sure you all would have understood what we have read today. I did not solve the exercises because I really want you to solve them, and then we'll discuss them when I'll be in the class and you'll all be sitting in the class if you would feel difficulty in solving them. I've gone through few of the the assignments that you have submitted. I'm really hoping to see all of them so very soon. आपकी डेट एक्सटेंड हो गई. I'm sure आप सबको इस बारे में भी पता होगा कि आपकी लास्ट डेट टू सबमिट द असाइनमेंट है 15th April और आपकी कट ऑफ डेट है 17th April. So yes, do your assignments with whole your heart. अगर किसी चीज़ की समझ नहीं आती तो प्लीज़ बच्चे, जब आप क्लास में आते हो तो सवाल किया करो. आप में से कोई भी सवाल नहीं करता. तो यस, आई फील गुड कि मैंने इतना अच्छा पढ़ा है कि आपको समझ में आता है और आप समझ जाते हो और आपको क्लियर हो जाती हैं चीज़ें. लेकिन स्टिल मैं आई वुड लव आंसरिंग योर क्वेश्चंस. अगर आपके पास कोई भी क्वेश्चन हो प्लीज़ आप मुझसे क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो. इफ़ नॉट इन द क्लास देन आई हैव गिवन यू द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस. यू कैन go write your questions there. I assure you I'll answer all of them. Okay, take care. That's what we had today. Take care, revise everything, and yes, bless you all. Take care.